everyone. So, welcome to our episode of Connection Across Generation.
And just like you guys heard in our intro, today we have our very special guest, James Schrage.
Long Beach.
Yes. And just a little bit about him. He is the founder and executive director of Families Uniting Families, leading with over 30 years of experience in child welfare and social work education. And he brought Project Fatherhood to the agency and continues to expand services with a strong focus on father engagement and mental health. He's also a former DCFS social worker, longtime child and family services reviewer, and distinguished alumnus of Cal State Long Beach. James has also taught at the Cal State Long Beach School of Social Work for more than 2 decades. He helped launch the Social Work Abroad program, building partnerships in Ghana and Costa Rica. And James holds degrees from UC Irvine and Cal State Long Beach. He's fluent in Spanish and brings a global lens to his work. He is also the proud father of his son, Zachary.
Yay.
So,
welcome once more, James. Well, I'm going to say Professor James because that's how I call him.
Yeah.
Professor James. So, round of applause. Professor James.
You're so cool.
Okay, Professor. So, as we said, this podcast is a platform for mentorship to be able to extend to our community, to whichever age group of whichever stage in life people are in, and that has a desire to have a mentor. And I remember having conversations with you being in the classroom, and you were just so inspiring. And I just said, like, someone, he is a mentor. Even for me personally, he's a mentor. And not formal, but an informal mentor. And I just think like someone outside the area, even myself or whoever is here, could benefit from having someone like you to talk to us, to guide us. So yes, tell us, who is James?
Who's James? Who's Jim?
Who's Jim? Who's Jim?
My formal name is James. Who is Jim? I'm the son of Michael and Mary Ann. I am the brother of Andrew. I am the father of Zachary. I was a husband for 20 years, faculty here for 24 years, founder of 2 nonprofits, 1 nonprofit that I currently still lead, Families Uniting Families. I am a mentor to many students and my staff and the interns that we have there. A lover of art. I love music. My favorite, apparently Spotify told me my favorite song was El Merengue.
El Merengue? That's great. What was your age?
I just had a birthday and my age was 49 according to Spotify. Wow. But I think that's because I listen to these old 90s Soundgarden and so forth. So I listen to these kind of bands. So it's so many things. Who's Jim? My favorite movie is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Favorite TV show would be Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I wanted to be on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I've heard of it.
You should watch it. It's Seinfeld on steroids, essentially. It's what else? I love to travel. I think what's really interesting about this podcast is, mentoring. Just the subject. It's a 2-way street, right? Like, it's all about learning. When I travel, I just want to learn.
Yeah.
So anything that I can upgrade myself, I'm all about that. I love tropical music, salsa, merengue, reggaeton. Benito. I love that. Caribbean chill. I call her Caribbean chill.
Caribbean chill. That's so great.
Yeah. I just love being around different people, just having different experiences. And, so, that's a part of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it sounds like with all the experiences you have, that's part of what inspires you, your work in social work.
Yeah, for sure. Social work used to be like the smallest part of my life, and then it became the biggest part of my life. like
How did that happen?
sports. I grew up. I had a kid. Was a family guy for, my son's now 25, he'll be 26. I used to play hockey, 5 or 6 teams. I played baseball growing up, basketball, a lot of sports. So I coached, even when I wasn't a parent, I was coaching kids. So those kind of things, you lose as you start doing more and more in social work. There became less time to do those things. So I don't know. I'm finding my way back though. I've cut out some things, some social work things.
Okay.
But we can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many social work things. We can't help everybody that I meet at the gas station before I go to work, right?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting that you say that you have been in different sports and just doing a lot of stuff, even traveling. And as you're saying, like it's a two-way street. I imagine that growing up, mentors was part of that formation, being in a team, sport, and even having your own child and having to guide that child. At what point were they a mentor, someone that you can identify that poured into you?
Yeah, I don't think I ever really had I had informal mentors. I think in sports there were moments where there were mentors. But what I've noticed when I look back at my life, I've noticed that I would just go and do things, and I would tell myself, well, it'd be nice if I had someone to run these ideas off of. Like through when I left Children's Services, I left. The big reason was I was being given cases that were Spanish speaking, and I could not speak Spanish. And I pointed this out to my supervisor, and they were like, "We don't have anybody." And I'm like, I started looking at data, and I was like, well, what's going to happen to me in 20 years? Like, am I going to be able to be relevant and useful in a social work job if I'm only speaking English?
Wow.
And so the decision, it was like, I need to just leave. And so I've kind of just always created paths. There's just like this sort of theme in my life where I'm just always creating paths. And I don't know that it's always a good idea. Like you had gone into the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
There's framework and infrastructure. Like I'm working with friends and we're creating structures like the Peace Corps to do very specific social work in Africa or in Central America, only to come to the realization like the Peace Corps exists.
Right.
We really need to do this. We were doing very social work things. I don't want to, it's really good. And all of the students were practicing in Costa Rica. We were practicing, we were watching people, we were doing the work. Yeah. So it's rewarding. But again, these structures exist. So I think as I continue and I think about some of the lessons that other people have been trying to tell me, because sometimes I don't listen. And you all know that as recalcitrant souls that you are, because I hear it in your voices. Sometimes you're just creating paths. I think your project is creating a path because you're being pioneers in this effort. So it's interesting, and the theme just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. It would be nice to have a mentor to show you these things, and so I would like read books. I would just go and do it myself. Like I came back from Costa Rica and I got a tutor one session, and I'm like, I'm not using this tutor. I'm just going to create my own. I'm going to create my own regimen, and so I created my own regimen. It was sort of like a P90X of Spanish, and
P90X of Spanish. I mean, it worked, right? What I'm hearing as you're sharing that is that, like, there's systems already created or in place, but what you are seeing is the lack of accessibility, perhaps, or like it not being as like relatable or transferable to the person that's
curated to what we wanted to do, because it wasn't just me and some of these things. It was other people, like the SWAP, the social work abroad thing. There was a number of us that were doing this, and it was, do we try to go through the formal university and do this? Yeah, and it became really, really difficult because there wasn't a lot of interest, even within departments close to where we're at right now. There wasn't like a lot of interest, and it's like, all right, so what do we do? And I have to convince my colleagues, like, let's create a nonprofit. because then we decide our future.
But see, I think that that's so great. It's something to continue to encourage, even within the understanding of mentorship, or as you are a mentor or a mentee, or even a mentor to yourself. Because what you're also doing is that you're like, only because we want to do it and it's not something that's available, let's just forget about it and move on. No, you were like, actually, let's lean into this and still make it happen, even if it's just a few of us.
Yeah, we made it.
That's awesome.
It took a while.
Yeah.
The initial idea of doing an international social work class was 2002. And then talking to folks about it, and they're like, well, we don't do that here. Well, it's 2025, and now we have this Germany program here. Okay, well, how did we go from there to here? And then there's a story about how that happens. I don't know that it will ever be told, but I know the version because I've lived this version where it wasn't, if you build it, people will come. That's what I've noticed. Like, it's no, if you build it, people will come.
Yeah,
No,
there's a need. I
That's
love
true.
that. If you build it, people will come because there is a need.
I do like that too. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just stealing from a movie.
Oh, which movie?
It's a baseball movie. It's a Kevin Costner thing, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like they built
It's
the
real.
baseball field out in the cornfield, and the souls of these baseball players came. So if you build it, they'll come. And what you're doing is creating a space for connection, and with connection, possibility happens.
Possibility.
Right? That's the whole thing.
And also like a remembrance, because I think that oftentimes with new ideas or people trying to do new things, that's scary, and it's asking of them to be brave. It's hard to know that it's possible when you've never seen it. One, like let's say for myself as first gen, coming from a place like South Central, it's not, I don't have a lot of exposure to ideas being executed and then people thriving in that. It's good to hear stories and having mentors that they can speak from experience, like, hey, actually, this is possible. I've lived it. I've done it. Here's how you can tell me your ideas and how I can work with you to make those things happen. But that's the challenge, and why we also started this thing, is that we don't have those blueprints in our spaces, in our community, in our families. And so we see that there's a need, because we're like you in the sense of what you're saying. We are creating paths.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we know what it feels like not to have it. And so we want to do that.
Extend
That to people.
And it's the curiosity. I mean, you have the curiosity where you're willing to use your experiences and the lack that's there and go, well, we can create it and we can make it. And then it's possible.
Yeah.
And you're all living pieces of it, because this very space is a product of seeing something, having a vision, and then elaborating on it and making it happen. I mean, you've already interviewed a number of folks who have had prominent careers, and you're connecting them to other folks. So it's already working. Now, whether official parts of this institution recognize it or not is neither here nor there. Like what I found, like, I'll give you an example. Like what I found is, well, someone will say, well, do you speak Spanish? Do I speak Spanish? Yeah. Well, I haven't really heard you speak Spanish. Do you have a degree in it? No. But then I can start doing it, and then, people will soon realize, like, oh, it's not just hola and adios.
Right. Sentences.
It's a whole
structure.
It's a whole thing. I mean, and that was, I knew when I was able to, like, work with social work abroad and get the board to trust me to say, look, I have these contacts in Costa Rica. I'm going all in. I'm going to spend my money to go fly down there, and I'm going to come back with information that's I will have families lined up. I will have a university partner lined up. And through that university partner, we will work in institutions in the community in Costa Rica where we will be able to elaborate our projects. And I have a picture of myself. I didn't really used to do a lot of these kind of things on social media where I'd take a picture of myself. And I had one, I remember sitting on the airplane going, you need to make this fucking happen. You need to do it. Do you believe in yourself? Because this was all going to happen in Spanish. It wasn't happening in English.
Right.
And I'm like, how am I going to convince? I mean, I convinced these English-speaking professors from Cal State LA and so on to do it. And then it was like, are you going to convince the people to bet on this horse?
Yeah.
And that happened. And I think a lot of it is because of relationships and relationships that are built over time. Because it wasn't just like
showed up.
This was like much time had passed. Many 20 plus years had passed So people were like, no, this guy's like, we could vouch for them. I had people that would vouch for me down there that would move obstacles. And I think in social work, that's what it's all about. It's creating connections.
Yeah.
Those
Right.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Breaking down barriers too, or and if there isn't, you're not possible to break down the barrier, at least bring it to awareness, because so many times we hear don't reinvent the wheel. In some cases, yeah,
kind of
it
need to.
applies,
Yeah.
but it's not a universal thing. There's so many people that have ideas and passion and dream of just freshness, unique stuff. And because there is this thing like don't reinvent the wheel, follow everything that everyone says, then you just lose that, right? But if we keep, as our professors say, stick to what you believe in, know that it is possible, there is a way. You just have to go at it, create the path.
This is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was told by people in fairly prominent places not to do Families Uniting Families, the nonprofit. So the nonprofit is now, it'll be 22 years old in February.
Wow.
And I was told,
It's
don't create more nonprofits where they're not needed. And I said, I'm listening to you, and this is different. And they're like, it already exists. Go be the
No, I'm sorry. Can I say that I was of the believer that was like, why do we need more nonprofits?
Yeah.
There's so many.
We don't necessarily.
Oh, okay. So you're good. Because I also was like, there's so many nonprofits. We need more coalition building, connecting. But you're saying that there is many nonprofits, but yet you're creating nonprofits.
So
help me understand that.
So do we need more music? If people are just making music to make music, we just have more music. But is it good music? My whole point, my contention was, no. This is quality. Like we're not going to be scaled to be the largest. We're going to be scaled to be the best in an area. That was the whole thing, was to be exceptional in an area.
This
like,
is very specific niche.
So now it's 20 years later, and I know who the people are who told me this, like, don't do this. And I'm like, so they didn't trust the vision that I have. And I'm like, no, I trust my vision. I don't need outside people not to help me. I don't have to question that.
Wow.
The issue became, how are we going to do this to distinguish ourselves? And I'm like, no, the work will distinguish it, because I have the people, I have the social workers that will work with me to do this. I already have the people. And so it became, I have the program, I have the people, it's money. Well, you can make money. And I'm just out there going, I need this money, I need this money, I need this money. And we raised $60,000 just by going to people. I would go, I went through the hallways here at the university, and I don't want to say begged, but it was kind of like,
persistence.
Please, it's
dedication.
A lot of persistence, and please don't. This is what we're going to do, and then getting rejected by people going, yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I wish you luck. And I'm just like, Jesus, okay, thank you, And then having the $60,000 within months, and then being able to pay social workers so that they would have jobs. And then taking that and turning it into 2 contracts with Orange County, now LA County, and then getting the families, and then actually having the funds start coming in and being able to have the overhead supported. So it happened. And now we're 9 accreditations in. We have the fatherhood program, the foster program, the adoption program, the intern program. We've taken 130 interns
over this time.
Now we've got 20 staff. They're all professional staff. They're mostly almost all master's level people. Half of my people will have their LCSWs in the next couple years. And then I have one of my colleagues has a master's in education and a doctorate in education. It is a super connected group of people. Like the people just like each other. They like each other.
And that makes all the difference when it comes to the kind of care you're going to provide to clients. It's like, if you like the work environment, that means you're also going to provide good care.
Yeah. And it's like class. I mean, it's a lot of nonsense and fun. And then we do important work.
Then in the middle of all that,
get the stuff done. But I think, like, I cannot pay Dodgers salaries. I cannot pay Otani what Otani deserves. So the question becomes, how are you going to keep Otani like MVP, like people? You have MVP social workers. How are you going to keep them? culture through organizational culture. So I have a diverse group of people with a culture of organization that is so unique that people connect to it and they thrive in it.
And they find value in it.
They find value because we share those values. But when we're vetting people to come in, I'm looking for people who will fit into the culture, because not everybody's going to fit into that culture.
Yeah.
So one of the things I couldn't do at the other agency where I was at was I had my office that would do that, but the other office was totally toxic. And so it became a problem at Children's Services. The culture was not amenable to any of these ideas. At the university, in the classroom, I have space to do things the way I want to orchestrate it. But, you'll have diversity and equity and diversity come in and go, don't tell jokes. And I'm just like, oh, man, what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to lose. My whole shtick is literally like, let's have fun and we'll learn stuff as we're having fun. I think what I've learned is humor is an advanced social work skill. I've learned to not worry about little things. You trust that people are good at some level. There are some people that haven't been good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
There's just been some disingenuous people, but for the most part, most of the people have been good, and they've come as people who've wanted to learn and participate. Is it 100%? No, but it's most. Yeah. And so you play off the strengths and you do what you can do and create what you can create with those strengths. And I think that's what I've done. At least that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I commend you for that, because it truly does open that opportunity for others. And, in a field where sometimes we're a little lost perhaps, or we don't know who to turn to or where to, or find a how, right? And just having these mentors, right? People to guide us and just share those experiences is very valuable to us.
But you have to have people like yourselves who want to walk in to this space, whatever the spaces that we're working in, who want to do it. So the dance is at least two people.
Two people.
You have to have two people in the dance.
I love that you're saying that, because we had a conversations ourselves preparing for this, but wondering what is asked of the mentee, right? Because we're focusing on like mentor. What is good signs? Like, what would be good signs of a mentor? What are green flags like to look for in the mentor? But we were also having a conversation. It was like, what is asked of the mentee? And oftentimes it's a dicey conversation, because we don't want to shame people for not pursuing mentors, because we want to understand that maybe it's a thing about inaccessibility or, playing their strengths, whatever it may be. And we don't want to have people internalize certain things. But at the same time, we're saying this is a two-way street. So it's like, as a mentee, you are also meant to take initiative in some ways. And what does that look like? When it is like how to spot a person that would reciprocate that and not just expect rejection, I guess.
I think that's the heart of it. This is the heart. If some, like in a mentorship relationship, if you said to me, well, what do you like about mentoring? Well, I get to teach, but I get to learn. I want to dance with somebody, and that requires that they do their steps. So when the other person's doing their steps, like in the classroom, I'm learning more than anybody in the classroom, because I've looked at the material over and over. It's not about the material. It's about how you deliver the material, how you ask a better question, how you do a better activity, or how you use humor in a way where people aren't checking out, they're tuning in. So being willing to fail, like to do that with humans.
That's the key.
Right? Like if you're willing to fail, like if you're going to take chances, if you're going to talk about race, or you're going to talk about like social class, or you're going to talk about like all the craziness that's happening out there, when I hear that there's folks that are like in leadership positions that are walking away from the opportunity to talk about that, well, it's tough. No one wants to get in trouble. Get in trouble. It's here.
It's right here.
It's already in our faces, right? Like the only way to get in trouble is to not honor the position.
We're already in trouble.
Yeah.
We're already in trouble. So you literally should be modeling, but you should be like curating a space where people want to speak about it, because these are hard issues. And so there might be people who don't speak about it, and that's okay, but that doesn't mean they're not thinking about it.
Right.
They might be thinking about it, and they might be confused, even in a social work program. I would hope people wouldn't be this confused about the things that are this obvious, but I would still provide spaces for people who had differing opinions about what's happening. I'd say, let's discuss this. And can I sit here and talk about issues from the community that I come from, in community that you're at, or in the community that any of you are at? As a faculty person in a school of social work, you should be able to handle that easily, model it, create curiosity, be curious, and then be accountable, and then just be honest about what's really happened. Like, if you're just honest with people, like, how can you not be honest about the genocide of like Indian tribal people? Like, you just need to be honest about that. Like, you need to be honest about what happened with Black folks. You need to be honest with what happened with Mexican folks and having their land taken away. If you had your land taken away, why wouldn't you be angry?
Yeah,
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense to me. So let's just have a discussion and say, look, I'm not here to create more problems or division. It's really to create connection in the things that make us human, which is we should be upholding spaces for people to feel dignified and not be so worried about like people are here and you're here. No, we're all right here. Like, and then you're women. And so I have to constantly be aware of the issues that I don't have to worry about because I don't have to walk in high heels and I don't have to walk to a car at night. I've never had to worry about that. And I think, how do you help people understand like that is a thing? Like this is a thing that most men don't ever have to, they don't have to worry about. So,
that ties in with one of her questions. Do you think that in a classroom or a professor, teacher should be having these conversations?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
all the time. I've gotten into some things with students in the past where they're like, "Well, we've got to stick to this," and I'm like, "No."
Students,
yes, because students, I think, get too boxed in on what they think it is. It's what we think we should. There's a syllabus, and a syllabus is a contract, and then there's the real world. The only reason we're doing this syllabus is to help everybody be improved in the real world. So if real world things are running up against that syllabus, we should be talking about the spaces between the syllabus and the real world. And we should be able to do it in a way in real time where we're honoring what's in the syllabus, but what's happening in real time.
Yeah, reality.
And then students have a responsibility, like adult learning theory. You need to participate and be flexible in the learning, right? You need to be flexible in the learning.
I don't think that's something that maybe a lot of us, as a skill that we have, really, sometimes.
We're just learning self-regulation.
Self-regulation. Well, also, a statement that one professor said to me earlier today was that conversation isn't confrontation. And sometimes I think that when we have hard conversations or scary conversations or these kind of difficult conversations, when we bring something up, our bodies or we as people, because we have a hard time maybe self-regulating or we become triggered, we find it that it feels like a confrontation rather than a conversation. But the reality is it's a conversation, it's the dialogue. And it's going to be, there's discomfort in that dialogue. So how do we navigate that?
I read this article in the Social Work Journal 20 years ago. It was an article called Dialogue and Carnival. And it's essentially the two spaces where everybody's equal. In Carnival, everybody's equal. It's a party. It's a celebration. In dialogue, we're at the level where we're volleying back and forth, and we're listening and crafting and understanding. What is wrong with that? That is ideal. That's an ideal situation in any space where we can have better understanding. So around culture, there's a lot of things going on culturally here, but to me, this is opportunities to grow. It's an opportunity for me to learn things that I didn't know before this moment happened. And I think as you travel, at least I would say, this is what you should be doing, right? When you travel, you learn as a global citizen that you're a small part of a larger mosaic, and That's great. Why would you want it like where I'm looking at white walls? Why do I want them all white? That's the worst. That's too much of the same color. You want, at least I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
I want something that's going to pique my curiosity. I want, I was thinking before this, I was thinking about music and how music travels and it changes. And culture, people like to think it's theirs, but once it's out there, it becomes everybody's. And then it moves through time and space and it morphs. And so a person like me can listen to, Raul Alejandro or Benito or Marc Anthony or Grupo Nietzsche or whatever, any of the tropical music that I like. And I'm like, it comes to me and then it speaks to me internally. And I'm like, I didn't grow up in Latin America, but I've adopted the flavor of it. And then it's changed a little bit because pizza's created in Italy and then it goes to New York and it's changed a little bit. Is it worse off? I've had people argue, well, the pizza in Italy is where it started. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's the best.
And it doesn't mean that that's where it ends.
I think that is like the key is that it keeps going on. And there's nothing wrong with that because if it just stayed the same, that could get a little bit boring after a while. I mean, at what point do you just lose? Like, it's just the same. I mean, at some point we want to see new things to pique our interest, to keep us, connected. And food, to me, food connects. And in different cultures, you have different kind of food. And we did that this morning in our seminar. We had lots of different kinds of food. And one gal even got up and made like food for the class. Like, she got up and made this food for the class. That's giving of yourself.
Yeah.
So that was really great. People participated. They played Christmas music, and the next thing you know, we're talking about other music and playing different kind of music, and we're talking about it. And I think everybody got along just fine. It was a space where people respected each other. We talked. It was unfiltered. It was a space to learn, and it was a respectful space and supportive space. So. This is one of the reasons why I like social work is because you can have those spaces, and diving into like the themes that are in these books on this table, I think is a responsibility. It's a responsibility of faculty to do that. Right?
Diversity.
It's a responsibility, but it's also the responsibility of students to dive into the water and participate.
More engagement from students in classroom conversations. Seriously.
Yeah.
As you exit,
you say, right. At this point, it's the last, our second to last semester, but student engagement is important.
Yeah, because we are social beings. Yesterday, I heard a speaker say that our brain is social, right? And the things that we do naturally that is without cause is an intervention. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow. Say that again.
Like, the things that we do naturally without cause that no tiene precio is an intervention. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, smiling is an intervention.
It is. It is. And I think about babies.
Yeah.
When they need to see your expression in your face. That's so good.
He's like, no, you don't have to speak to communicate. Like, all those things, that we really see it and tune into it. Those are things that connects with people.
Well, this brings me to a topic that we were talking about you as well. But this is really good because I want to hear it from you. You often highlight the good in people, which you were talking about, the inherent good in people. And so what experiences have strengthened your belief in the inherent goodness of individuals? And as we were talking about this question, they told me about your emotional bank account theory.
Oh, that's Cubby. Yes, I can't take it.
Well, of course, you mentioned it. It's not yours. It's not yours. But you told us about it. Or told them.
Yeah. The emotional bank account is an idea that Cubby talked about. And it's just, you have an account with, like a bank account with everybody, and you're always making deposits, emotional deposits with people. And I always think about that. I'm always thinking, like, do I have deposits with this person? And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's a hole or a fracture for whatever reason in the account. But for the most part, if you're mindful of other people's feelings and just them, acknowledging them, validating them, you can make deposits. That way, when you're ready to make a withdrawal, you don't go bankrupt. So I always think about that. And it's a real simple, concrete way to think about how to create trust with people. You have to make deposits in people, which means you have to be present for people, which means you have to show up for people, which means you have to like listen to people before you're, doing things. Oftentimes we're not listening because we're crafting our response. And we just need to like listen to people and understand what they're saying when they're not saying it, because they might not be smiling and there might not be trust and there might be obstacles, barriers because of the past and things that have happened within the community or whatever. And I think as a social worker, I love the challenge. I want the challenge. Like at this point, like someone said, well, I had one student, she said, I've only worked with Latina females. And I'm like, that's you. Like, how are you going to be?
I'm sorry.
How are you going to be
So you're like assuming it's like you're saying it's easy to connect with them because it's you.
I mean, I think she did that, and I'm sure she's comfortable with doing that. And it's like, but effectively, you're a Swiss Army knife as a social worker. So you need to be able to do many things in many situations with many kind of people, old or young and all in between. I'm not saying we're the answer to everything, but in theory, we're trained as generalists. We're trained to work at all the macro, the meso, the micro. We're trained to work with all different life cycles because we have such a broad preparation. So if I'm working with younger women, I have to be mindful of what the challenges are. If I'm working with older women from different culture, I have to be mindful of that. If I'm working with, like I talked today about working with this white supremacist kid, and that was challenging for me because I didn't really want to work with him, and he wasn't really somebody, just not a palatable person. Like I'm just like, this is the least palatable person. I have to give the kid space so that he can, because I'm forced to work with this kid, and then you understand why he became the way he became, and you're just sort of like, wow, there's a context to this. There's a context to why people are building the barriers that they're building or reacting the way they're reacting. So at this point, I'm okay. I want the challenge to work with people. It's fun, and I'm not afraid to take really serious risks with people using humor. What is the worst thing that they're going to do?
I don't know.
They can deny
Hit you.
They can
Get
reject
aggressive.
it. They could. I mean, I think people can reject you. Like in one of the meetings, I was joking and I said something this was in my work. I said something to somebody on Zoom, and I thought, you're not going to concede me grace on trying to connect with people, and then you're going to try to say that I use this term, and I'm just like, you're building a case to not connect with me, and that says more about you than it does about me. And I just want to help people. Like, why you don't want my help? I don't want your water. My water's clean. Like, what? That's why you came. So some people aren't good. It's just not going to work with some people. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't have to. And I tell my staff, if it doesn't work with me, it'll work with you. That's why you're here. I need you, because you're going to be able to resonate with people, and you're going to be able to resonate with other people. And I have a staff, and I go, Sid, you're going to be able to resonate with people that might not resonate with me. But we're all effectively doing the same thing.
That's so good. And I'm sorry, but like, I think it's such an important topic for all social workers, because something that I've been taking a couple trainings because I'm part of the public behavioral health scholarship stipend, and we've been having a couple trainings, but one of the trainings was actually pushing us to confront those situations where we've offended a client and how have we pivoted from that. And it was such an important conversation because usually in trainings of culture humility, we're told here's the situation, how would you respond? Versus here's the situation where I already messed up, how did that make me feel and how can I improve from that? And I think that that's so important because here's the reality. As social workers, as current practitioners, I go and meet with clients and they tell me stories of all these horrible social workers. And then I look around and I see all the social workers I know and I'm like, they're incredible people. But here's the take that you have is that, yeah, maybe that social worker was horrible for that client, but for the next client, she's going to be just the right thing that client needed. And how does that turn, right?
Right. And I mean, it builds on something that I learned a long time ago here in here, my first seminar. 24 years ago. It was a young girl. She was 25 years old, 26 years old. And she said probably one of the most important things I've ever heard. And she said, Jim, and she said this to the whole seminar. She goes, sometimes you're going to be the second touch of 10, that this client needs 10 touches and you're the second touch. And you're not going to see the changes because many touches need to happen before this person makes decisions to change something. And I'm like, why didn't I know this? Like, I should know this. How is she's not even through her master's program? She just started and she's saying these things. And I'm like, okay, dude, you can learn from people if you're willing to. And she has experiences that she's bringing to the table.
Yes.
Just be open that people are going to give you nuggets. You don't think in these seminars, I'm listening to 12 people tell me their secret sauce. I'm like, damn, okay. That's interesting. You got all these different ways of looking at something, and I'm sitting here just snapping it up. I get to read all these papers and go, wow. I get to read all these journals, and I go, wow, these are lots of different ways. I feel like Neo in the Matrix. I'm just like,
That's so awesome. This is making me want to be a professor for seminar.
Yeah, because you're exposed to so many things, and I don't view it as a chore. I just view it as, all right, I'm just going to upload today. And what can I upload? And I try to have dialogues with the students through the journals so that it's not a waste of time, because otherwise we're just checking boxes and it's a waste of time. So we got to figure out how can you use the journals effectively so that it's meaningful for you. Now, some people, it's just not going to work. It's just going to be a chore. But other people are going to be like, oh yeah, this is going to work. And so if I dial 9 of these people in and we're having an engagement, they're just giving me things, and it's a mutual, it's a reciprocity. So it's a mutually beneficial exchange. So, and that's the process. It's supposed to be like that. I think higher education is supposed to be that.
Yes.
A piece of it.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Hearing you just bring a question that we were with Gloria. She's not here right now.
Gloria would have loved to meet you, by the way.
She's not here right now. But Gloria, I'm going to ask the professor for you. So what helped you to have that skin, like to just be Jim? Like, how did you become this person that just said, you know what? This is just me. This is what I think. This is what I'm going to say. And just roll with it. Like, I feel like as a professor and as a person, then like 3 months, 4 months that I've known you, like you have this thing in you that you're just comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
How did you become that? What did you do?
I mean, it wasn't always like that.
I
think coming out of high school.
Tell us more.
So I grew up in the south suburbs outside of Chicago, and I grew up in Chicago Heights, and then I moved from the Heights where like those kids, it was black, brown, white kids. So it's a different social class. Then we move out of that because of the gangs, and then we moved to this more affluent area. But my father was like a mailman. So he was delivering mail to like my new friends. Like the parent was like a mayor and someone's like a lawyer. And I'm like, my dad's the guy delivering the mail. So I go through like 3.5 years of that, feeling a little bit inferior, and then being born in November. So I'm smaller than all these guys who are maturing quicker than me. And I'm having to like play sports with these guys and trying to keep up with them, and you can't. And then getting pushed around by them and getting cut like from the baseball team, and then having to deal with like some losses, taking some L's, and then getting to the point where I graduate high school and I'm sort of like trying to figure out, I'm 17 and I graduate high school. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go. And I don't really have a solidified plan. So I'm working as a busboy, and I start getting W's because I start leaning into just me. I just because I'm seeing success, because I'm really good at cleaning these tables. You're at the lowest rung of society as a busboy. I'm cutting lawns, I'm landscaping, I'm doing all these like labor jobs, and I'm going, fuck, I'm not going to do this forever. This is really hard work. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to be really good at it. And I kept doing that. And the people that I worked with were like, you should do this more. We want you. We're going to give you a raise. We want you to do this. We want you to be night auditor. I'm like, what the fuck does night auditing have to do with busboy?
Yeah.
So in a really quick, in a very short amount of time, I was made the head busboy, and then I was given responsibilities, and I'm training people. I'm 17 years old, and I'm like doing these things. And then all of a sudden, my friends, they have to deal with me as a supervisor, and I'm like, I hang out with these people, and it's kind of like I'm having to learn how to navigate leadership kinds of things. And then I realize I can't keep running away from leadership. I was running away from it for a number of years. And so on my teams, I was like the captain. I just started leaning into it in everything. I'm just going to do it, which is why I think in my professional life, I've sought mentorship from like John Oliver. Like he was like my mentor. You know John?
No, I don't know him. I was thinking about
he was my professor. No,
John. So I was thinking about a different John Oliver.
People would say
the comedian.
So
I love him.
Once upon a time, like before Nancy Meyer Adams and before Christian Molinar and before all of these Rebecca and there was John. And John, I have this job because of him, but he was my professor, and so I would seek him out and he would tell me things, and his father was a preacher and he would say things and he would just give me his time and I would listen to him, and I liked his structure, and he's a really smart man, and I was just like taking it all in, and he would entrust me with certain little things. And then I came to him and I said, I want to teach international social work, and he's like, we don't have that. And I'm getting wins because I'm the president at this point of like the social work alumni group. So people are seeing like, okay, Jim's not a total, like, I think people would associate me as a young, like in my 20s, they would see me as like, I mean, he's okay, but he's interested in sports, which I played.
So you were already a faculty when you were playing sports?
Yeah. But in my 30s, not in my 20s. Okay. In my 20s, I'm like a very young kid. Here as a graduate, I'm like 25, graduating with my master's degree. But I end up putting in a couple years at DCFS and leave, and then I come back and people are like, oh, that's cute, he speaks Spanish, and I'm like, like I speak, and I just have to be calm. Like I'm just chill, dude. Like they don't really know. They're not gonna quiz you.
Yeah.
So whatever. I always find it very funny that whole thing. It's kind of funny because I don't have a formal diploma or anything, and I'm like, but I've had people say, do you speak Spanish? I'm like, estoy hablando español, ¿qué más quiere? Like
the acento is not even there.
Like they don't hear you. Yeah.
It's like they're, I don't know, it's like they're like, what's going on?
This is the proof right now.
But I think this has a lot to do. I just keep taking these paths where I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to create paths. But you take lumps when you constantly try to forge paths that don't need to be forged when things already exist. So then the question becomes like, do you create international social work things, or do you utilize Peace Corps? Like the Jim of now would say, you've got Peace Corps, like you could utilize that. But does that mean you can't do international social work in some other way? No, you can. There's avenues. Okay. Should you do the thing that you're doing within the university? Yeah. I think you can do it. Whether other people see the value in it or not, I think is neither here nor there. It's great if they do, but if they don't, and you as a collective see the value, I would say just because other people don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Yeah. Right? Ask Will about that from Stranger Things. He saw it firsthand. I had to throw that in there.
No, I don't. I've never seen
Upside Down.
What?
No,
you have it. Yes.
Do not.
I think it's season 4
getting the
now,
cultural
right?
references.
I think we're gonna edit this entire part out right here.
No, I'll go home and watch it now.
Had you seen it, this would have been amazing.
Good.
Wow.
I think.
I would have gotten it.
Yes.
You'll get it.
I'll come back. I'll have to rewatch it.
Well, yeah, but it's so interesting and rich what you say, because a lot of people, Black and brown, our community that are out there, or youth, or elders, or just whatever age you're in. Sometimes you're just lost and you're like, I'm doing this and it's not fading out. I don't know where to go, what to do. And sometimes you're lost and you just want to like give up. But what you're saying is like, you can be doing a work and you're good at it, but you have more that you want to accomplish, right? And just not giving up and leaning in what you already have. Because you said like, you were afraid to step into leadership, but leadership continued.
That's so. That in itself is such a lesson.
Yes. Even for me, like I would say,
I resonate with that. I was just like, me too. I feel like I have run from leadership in the past.
And I remember I just got a card and it says like "Mija, no escondas tu magia." And I stayed with it, and I'm like, yes, this is me. Like I know there are things there. So now, as I said this morning, like that's why I'm more like, yes, I'm stepping into what I know I'm called for. I know this is my calling, right? And in social work, it's not a coincidence that we're here. So it's not a coincidence. So I'm not sure who is gonna listen, and I hope that it's thousands of people that can listen to this episode. So not only our experience, but Jim experience, Professor Jim experience of like, you can be a male person, you can be a person cleaning, walls, washing dishes. It doesn't matter. It is a honorable job, but there is more for you. You can do more if you want to. It's just reaching out, finding opportunity, creating opportunity, speaking. And guess what? For our community, Black and Brown community, it's very hard to ask for help. We keep that thing like, no voy a pedir ayuda. I can do it all by myself.
Look at me actually doing it all by myself.
We take that thing there, and actually that's something that it's like a false pride. It keeps us back. So if you're out there listening to us, reach out for help, say something, right?
There's mentors here. Every one of us. Well,
I think this is one of the reasons why I, even as a busboy, I remember the busboys who were the banquet busboys. They were all Black, and I went and talked to them, and I go, let's play softball. And we played softball. It was the dining room busboys against the banquet busboys. Then we became friends, and then we challenged all the waitresses. And they brought their husbands or partners or whatever. And so then I remember all the busboys, we would just be hanging out, and we would be talking about these issues. And this is the 80s, and we'd be talking about these issues in the 80s. And we were all young guys getting ready to go to college, and we were talking about these kind of issues. And we'd be hanging out like Taste of Chicago, or we'd go downtown, just getting into whatever we're getting into, and then having a good time. And race and social class wasn't an issue. There was a common thread. We were all working at the same place, and we could get through the shitty pay of being a busboy because we did similar kinds of things. There was a commonality in our experience. So like in the human experience, like there's a commonality. Like to me, it's the nonsense of like of putting people into buckets. I'm just like, we're all humans, man. We're all just trying to get through this. And some people are in this gender, and some people are in this gender, and some people are here. And it's just like, just help people. Like, why don't you, like, if anything, the more interactions you have, the more interesting you're going to be. So to me, it's just like, I want to be exposed to as many people as possible. And then I just want to have fun with it and help people solve problems at the same time. So in class, are we joking around a lot? Yes. Am I saying absurd things a lot? Yes. But it's to get to the point, because people, if you're at a barbecue, you're trying to be serious all the time. If you're at an outing with your friends, and I understand the difference between a professional setting and a non-professional setting, but what I found in like little nonprofit spaces and in classrooms is that we need to trust each other. We need to have fun together. We need to break bread together, and we will get to the hard stuff easier if we just respect each other in ways where we go, oh, these people aren't that much different than us. Yeah, this person is this or this person is that, but we're essentially the same. We have the same goals. To me, that's been a huge thing. So I just keep leaning into it because no one seems to be stopping me. And if someone did, I'd be like, you really want to stop me? I'm like, I can show you like all the success. Like I was telling my staff, I'm like, we've never had a lawsuit. Not one. Not one from a client, not one from a former employee. This is 20 years. And so that says something about the quality of the agency. Our unemployment, we don't have anybody ever taking unemployment. What does that say? It's stable. People don't leave because they're getting fired. I've never fired anybody. I've only written one person up, and I begged this girl. I said, do not make me do this. I don't just come on time. Now what does she do? She comes on time, but she's at DCFS, so she comes on time. And I'm like, well, I'm glad we broke you of your bad habits. You know?
Of your bad habits.
You know, she knows who she is if she's out.
Hello. That's awesome.
Okay, so our next question would be question number 5, healing. So, what wisdom does your generation bring to younger social workers?
I think the wisdom of experience, and some of it's bad experience, frankly. I'm always embarrassed of passing the torch on to people and having to like qualify like what people in my generation are doing for the next generation. It's like they're just hacking and slashing and messing things up. And so part of it is there's good, and then there's what are you doing? Like what? Like this isn't that hard. Like, I don't think this is that difficult. Like people just want to have a decent life. People want to have food. People want to have water. People want to take a vacation. Most people aren't trying to be billionaires. And then you got this little group of people that's just trying to take everything. You're like, is that my generation, or is that the generation before me? What the hell is wrong with you? Like, who raised you? What is wrong with you? What did you like? Your parents didn't love you enough, and part of it is like they're so focused on the thing that's least interesting, which is money. Money is not the most important thing. People are the most important thing. What would you be doing if you didn't have people? I don't understand what billionaires are trying to do. What are you going to watch on TV? You're just going to have AI create it? What games are you going to go to? What sites are you going to see? You're going to go to Yellowstone not to see condos. You're going to go to Yellowstone to see nature and beauty with people you care about. Why do you want to own it? Like you can't. This is one of the things I learned when I lived in Costa Rica. I had the opportunity in 95. We were by Arenal, it's a volcano, and we were staying at some little place. It was like a small hotel, like it's just kind of not high end. And the people who owned it were nice and everything. And they said, come back at 3:00 and the toucans will be feeding. And I'm like, oh man, toucans, I got to see these toucans. I have a picture of two toucans on my arm. They're in the wild. They're living in this tree, and they come down on my hand, and I'm feeding them star fruit. And I'm looking at these things.
Wow.
And I'm like looking at them, and they're so docile, and I'm just looking at them. And I'm like,
they're real.
People, this is real, and you don't need to own them.
Yes.
Let them go, and you can appreciate them. You don't have to own everything. Yeah. And you don't have to exploit all the resources for the people. But there's a group of humans that are just on a place that are always trying to get theirs at the expense of other people. That's not my idea of a good time. It's my idea of a good time is going to a party and seeing people dancing to tropical music and having food and drinking whatever they're drinking and having a good time together. And there can be drama. But it's not drama that's going to be terrible. You know, drama's okay.
Yeah, a little drama, just a little.
We need stories, but my God. Stories are good.
We need a plot, a narrative.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm just going to summarize what you just said. For a social worker, basically is analyzing what you're learning, right? From whichever generation it is. Because wisdom can be good and bad, and that's something that I never thought about. Wisdom is not always good. Wisdom can come in a negative way that you can continue repeating patterns, right? So as a social worker, we do have to stop, pause, and analyze what am I learning? Is it something that is beneficial, and who am I passing down this to? And for social workers in general, what would you want us as social workers to know?
I think that's a complicated question. I think we just need to have respect, and then we have to know what we're doing. If we're working together, we need to know what our roles are. We need to know what our goals are. We need to know what our dance steps are. And we need to have fun as we try to address whatever we're doing. I think wisdom is positive if people know who they are in the context of other people. So you can know stuff, but it doesn't mean you know yourself in relationship to the world. So I see wisdom as like me knowing myself in relation to the world, which is like a level of awareness, and knowledge is knowing things. And so passing down knowledge is helpful. So like when I think of AI and I think of it could be a great tool, sometimes it's not, because AI is not critically thinking.
No.
You have to analyze it and you have to critically think. So I think what we need to do, critically think, we have to know what our priorities are. We have to understand what our values are. We have to know that values can shift, priorities can shift. And then we have to have a group of people that are North Star minded. Like you have to have a North Star. Like you have to know integrity as a North Star. We're missing that right now. And like people are putting the things that matter least over the things that matter most. And just in decency, there should just be decency. Like, and I'm not trying to speak as a person who goes to church decent. I'm just saying, why are you rounding up humans? Like, that's not a decent thing to do. Why are you dehumanizing people? So I think if I was to talk to the people that are in charge, or in 10 years to people, I would say there was a group of people that lost their way. And it was mind-numbing as how they didn't think. I think we need to think. We need institutions. Do I think universities have all the answers? No, I think people in universities, we can work together to get to places where we pass knowledge on, and then we understand ourselves in the context of the earth. Like we have to take care of the earth. Like we have to take care of the resources, right? So I think all of those things are important. So if I were to ever leave this place, at some point I'm leaving, right? I would want my son to know that. The most important relationship in my life is my son. And I saw your daughter. She's so cute, right? And I could see how much care that you have for her. And it's like most parents have that care. And when I see them when parents don't have that care, I think there are obstacles for them to be able to have what we have and what maybe our parents had with us. And it's like, I would want people to understand, like, you need parents to care, which is why we do these parenting classes. I want people to care about their kids, not just as checking boxes, but you're a teacher for them and you're inspiring them, and you want your children to be curious so that they can be a 2.0 version of you at some level, and then bring more beautiful actions and acts on the world. That's how I think. I would just want my reflection to shine brighter. Then I don't need the W's. Like I remember when I would surf, I remember being like in San Onofre, and I would see other people catch waves, or even when I was in Costa Rica, and I would see people catch waves, and I would just be like, man, that dude's catching a stoke right now. It's like
just watching
this person experience the rush of that. Man, you don't need to take all the waves. And there are people that want to take all the waves.
That's
help
great.
Other people get the waves, right?
I think that's really good, because one of our final questions, it's like what is the thing that brings you hope, right? And how do we talk about the future? And I think you talking about this is so great, because it's encouraging to know that our joy, our hope, our play can be replicated through our interactions with people. Obviously, for a parent, you can pass that on to children. But something that we've also talked about in our groups separate from this setting is how much we individual people without kids, like myself, can still serve as a type of caregiver to other children around me, right? And like, I may not have kids of my own, but I'm an older sister. I'm the oldest sister of my siblings, and I've served as some type of parental figure for them. But I think that when we can take that responsibility for ourselves, like, you know what, I am a caring adult in the settings that I go into. And if I bump into a child, like, I can come in as a caring adult, because something that I also always think about is it just takes one caring adult to change the life of a child. And if we can take that mantle and do that for the kids that we interact with on a daily basis, like, how much more does that make us as mentors or practicing that already in the space that we're in?
That reminds me of the Juventud theory or philosophy. So what the Juventud theory philosophy says is that there is not me, there is not I, there's just we, right? And it definitely teaches us that there's no, I cannot exist without anyone of, you know, we need community and we need connection. So We are almost done going through our last, question, and I'll pass it on to my colleague.
So, Professor, we have this closing reflection we'd like to ask to our guests, and it is, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of wisdom to carry into their week, what would that be?
The listeners of this are social workers.
It could be anybody.
Students,
Social workers,
parents.
students, different generations.
I think we have to learn to trust our inner voice, and we have to learn to be decisive about things. You have to listen. And I just think we have to be flexible, and you have to learn you have to articulate your needs, and you have to you have to find your voice. And I think when I'm speaking to social workers, because I'm mostly here at the university, I'm mostly focused on social workers, I'm usually saying something like, we have to find our voice. You have to find your voice. And it's, you hear how I'm saying things, and I'm doing whatever I'm doing very specifically because I'm leaning into me. You lean into you, and you trust your voice, and you be unapologetically you. I think that is so important, because the most interesting part of our work is you're all you. And so you have to just trust. You don't have to see the limitations. You have to see, like, hey, there's only one of me, and I can deliver this way.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. And we're all the same in that we're all trying to do similar kinds of work with the same impact. And so it's like, all right, well, lean into who you are. Like, just trust it, and don't have to question it. I think we have to, like, evaluate it, which is what supervision is for.
Yeah.
And with our colleagues in our offices and in our agencies where we work in the community, I think there's space for that interaction to examine that. But what I've seen in those relationships are the same thing. I'm just trying to support people to articulate their voice, to trust their voice, lean in. Don't worry about making mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, and mistakes are part of the process, because neuroscience tells us that's how you learn. And the confidence comes from the competence that you have when you do things. And sometimes you have to do it many times, which is why I talk about Kobe all the time. Kobe, the basketball Kobe, would just practice and practice and practice and practice. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I was just laying into you guys about, you didn't practice enough. Go and practice, and people are just listening to me.
We heard it.
And one of the students is like, man, you were really hard on them. And I'm like, well, they needed it, because I could just see they didn't prepare enough. I could see that preparation wasn't done. It was, I'm just going to show up and do it. And the preparation, not everybody, but some people could have prepared more. And I'm just calling on people to be the arbiter, be your referee, like keep yourself in check, and trust the voice. When you've prepared, trust the voice.
That's
good.
Right?
I love that.
Yes.
Definitely, I think we forget sometimes, like you said, to trust ourselves. Sometimes, we already know it, but, especially with everything going on, we just, second guess ourselves.
Yeah,
And
don't
just,
I
need to hear that. I needed to hear that.
But like in my recollection of our meeting not too long ago, it's like, you're doing great, and but then it's like, well, I'm going to question. Why would you question this? People, I remember hearing this. I think I heard this from Alan Sroof, who did this longitudinal research. He's from the University of Minnesota. People with good self-esteem never wake up and go, hey, are things going to work out for me today? They just work out. They just always work out. And so the mindset of this is to get to the place where you're just leaning into things are always going to work out. I just wake up and I know things are going to work out. Now, am I happy with all of the things? No. But I know ultimately in the end, it's all going to work out. It's just how we get there and how I choose to react to it, right?
For sure.
So,
sorry, I'm smiling because I'm a person of faith, and there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, like, all things are working out for the good of the. What is it?
Que aman a Dios, todas las cosas le ayudan a bien.
Lo sabes en español, en inglés.
Sorry.
But it's the heart of that is that all things are working out for your good.
Yeah.
And when you have that mentality, but point of view, but also like posture internally, then that helps me at least not always internalize how things are happening, and it doesn't always feel like it's against me, but it's for me, and I just can't see it yet, and I just have to continue to trust that the path I'm in is leading me ultimately to the thing that I need to
Right.
get to. And when you do that, then it does work out. Because I think also, like you're saying about your bank account theory, well, not yours, but Kobe's, is that, yeah, like we pay it forward that way. I mean, all things do work out. And I think because people, and I've also in the past assumed that when things work out means that I'm happy all the time, or, you know, I don't suffer. That's not true. Like, the discomfort is part of the journey. And like J. Cole says, like, there's beauty in the struggle, and there is.
There you go.
J. Cole says that. Yeah, it's a song.
I don't want to go against it.
He does say that.
Yeah.
There's beauty in the struggle.
Yeah, and do your own thing.
Yes.
Do what speaks to you. Discover your own talent, your own uniqueness. If it's not speaking, it's writing. If it's not that, sport, connecting with people. Like, everyone has their own unique gifts, and what stops us is that we compare ourselves with each other and wanting to do it like other people. But if you have your own sauce, then hey, spice it up.
Yeah.
Do your own thing, right?
Do your
There you
own
go.
sauce.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the artistry.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Trust
artistry.
your voice. There you have
Yes.
it.
Oh,
Se acabó.
okay.
Se acabó.
So, Professor Jim.
There we go.
Chelito.
Chelito, ahí estamos, huh?
Okay, so to any listener that reach out to you and would like a mentor, would you want to be a mentor?
I mean, I am a mentor. Would I
Okay.
want to be?
To our viewers.
Yes.
Or a viewer, or have someone not their mentor?
I think it's possible if there's alignment,
Okay.
and there's someone
Yeah.
who's going to do their part.
Okay.
Of course, I mean, there's always room. I think there's room.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think the fit needs to be
Yeah.
right.
That's good.
That's
Yes.
fit is important. But I'm always mentoring people. I enjoy it. It's not difficult. I mean, you're just spending time with people. You're just making time. So I think it's an important. Especially for social workers, it's important. Especially for older generations, people who know certain things, to pass things on and then to learn. I mean, things might change. So
right.
it's a two-way street.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay.
Estoy abierto, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys heard it.
Yes.
Professor Jimcito, however you wish to call him.
They can only call me Chelito, like
Chelito.
on the third meeting.
Oh, okay. This is the
No,
first.
no, you get
okay, I get
fast.
fast. Yay.
Okay, so this was our episode of Connection Across Generation. And, you know, I can speak for Professor Jim and all. Graciela and Annabelle can also speak for Professor Jim. Look, guys, you reach out to Professor Jim. He is going to really invest in you. He's not going to be like soft with you. He's going to tell you the real thing. So he can't be soft-hearted. You have to be like, yes, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it with the best intention. Like, he is someone that believes in people. And I remember one of his class that he said, if you're still alive, it's because you're motivated. And I keep that. And I'm like, I wake up today, I have motivation. I can do it. So you're still alive. You can do it. And if you feel connected or something resonated with you, with Professor Jim, hey, reach out. Okay, so that's it for all today. Bye, guys.